sometimes the biggest opportunities aren't hiding in secret. They're hiding in places everyone has already dismissed. Imagine you're about to commit over $1 million to purchase a brand new condominium. Like every prudent buyer, you begin with the golden rules everyone seems to agree on. Buy beside an MRT station. Buy within 1 kilometer of a prestigious primary school. Buy beside a major shopping mall. After all, these are supposedly the ingredients that guarantee strong capital appreciation. So you do exactly that. Fast forward 10 years. Then something unexpected happens. Your neighbor, who bought a condominium 15 minutes away from the MRT, beside several perfectly ordinary neighborhood schools, somehow earns almost twice the capital appreciation. How is that possible? Was he simply lucky? Or have most property buyers misunderstood what truly creates long-term wealth? After analyzing 10 years of resale condominium performance between 2015 and 2025, the findings challenge many of the assumptions buyers have repeated for decades. The data tells a completely different story. The difference between conventional wisdom and mathematical reality. Singapore's property market is full of advice. Everyone has an opinion. Buy beside the MRT. Schools determine prices. Future MRT stations guarantee appreciation. Shopping malls create value. Many of these statements contain some truth, but there is an important distinction. A feature that preserves value is not necessarily the same feature that creates exceptional growth. Those are two completely different investment objectives. To separate myth from reality, let's ignore opinions and examine actual resale performance. Removing the noise. To make the analysis meaningful, several filters were applied. Instead of looking across Singapore, the study focused on two mature heartland towns, Punggol and Sembawang. Why? Because these are genuine family-driven housing markets. Luxury purchases by foreign buyers rarely distort pricing. Instead, prices are driven by ordinary Singaporean families upgrading over time. The research focused exclusively on resale condominiums, 3 and 4 bedroom family-size units, apartments above approximately 1,000 square feet, annualized capital growth from 2015 to 2025. Importantly, new launch profits were excluded. Why? Because developer pricing often reflects marketing strategy, launch phases, and promotional discounts rather than organic market demand. Resale transactions provide a far clearer picture of what ordinary buyers are genuinely willing to pay. That makes resale prices one of the best indicators of true market value. The first surprise, MRT, proximity, wasn't the biggest winner. One of Singapore's oldest property beliefs is simple. Buy within walking distance of an MRT station. It certainly sounds logical. Public transport improves accessibility. Accessibility increases demand. Demand should increase prices. Yet the numbers tell another story. Among the 10 fastest growing condominiums in this 10-year study, only 4 were within approximately 500 meters of an MRT station. 6 were not. Even more surprising, some of the strongest performers weren't close to any MRT station at all. Projects like The Terrace and Park Life delivered exceptional annualized growth despite lacking immediate MRT convenience. That forces an uncomfortable question. If MRT proximity isn't consistently producing the highest appreciation, what is? Why great locations sometimes produce average returns? The answer lies in one simple concept. Everything valuable has a price. Developers understand this better than anyone. When a site sits directly beside an MRT station, a prestigious school, or a major shopping mall, the premium is already included before buyers even collect their keys. You're paying tomorrow's convenience today. Think about it this way. Imagine two investors. Investor A buys a condominium beside an MRT station for $2,300 per square foot. Investor B buys another condominium 15 minutes away for $1,900 per square foot. Investor A purchased convenience. Investor B purchased future potential. The first property already reflects its advantages. The second still has room to grow. This difference matters enormously. Capital appreciation depends less on how attractive today's property is, and more on how much future buyers are still willing to pay above today's price. If today's premium is already extremely high, tomorrow's upside naturally becomes smaller. The elite school illusion. Another long-standing belief concerns prestigious primary schools. Many parents willingly pay hundreds of thousands of dollars more simply to fall inside the famous 1-kilometer enrollment radius. Education matters. No one disputes that. But does paying this premium maximize investment returns? Again, the data produced an unexpected result. Among the top 10 highest performing condominiums, only 2 sat within 1 kilometer of elite schools. The remaining 8 did not. Does that mean school proximity has no value? Not at all. It simply means buyers often confuse personal utility with investment performance. These are not the same thing. Future MRT stations didn't drive most winners. Either many investors love buying beside future transport infrastructure. The assumption is straightforward. When the MRT eventually opens, prices should soar, once again. The data challenges this belief. Among the 10 highest growth projects, only 1 benefited directly from a future MRT line. Clearly, something else is driving appreciation. So what actually creates growth? After removing the common myths, 4 characteristics consistently appeared among the highest performing projects. These weren't glamorous, they weren't exciting, but they worked. 1. Practical schools beat prestigious schools. The best performing condominiums were rarely surrounded by famous schools. Instead, they typically had several ordinary neighborhood primary schools nearby. At first glance, this seems surprising, until we think like a family. Most parents aren't searching for prestige every morning. They're searching for convenience. Children still need to arrive at school every weekday. Parents still need manageable routines. Having several reliable nearby schools provides flexibility. That practicality creates sustainable housing demand. Sometimes boring wins. 2. Everyday convenience beats luxury convenience. Every top-performing condominium shared another surprisingly ordinary characteristic: a supermarket, not a luxury shopping destination, not a mega mall, simply somewhere families could buy groceries quickly. Why? Because convenience isn't measured by occasional shopping trips. It's measured by daily life. Milk, bread, dinner, daily errands. The easier life becomes, the broader the buyer pool becomes. Broad demand creates stronger resale markets. 3. Medium and large developments outperformed boutique projects. Almost every top performer contained more than 300 units. This matters for several reasons. First, maintenance costs become more affordable. Security, swimming pools, landscaping, facilities. All these expenses are shared across many households. Second, larger developments generate far more transactions. Why does that matter? Because banks value certainty. Frequent resale activity establishes clear pricing history. When future buyers apply for financing, banks have plenty of comparable transactions. That creates confidence. Confidence supports valuation. Valuation supports resale prices. Ironically, sometimes your neighbors help determine your property's value simply by buying and selling regularly. 4. HDB upgraders become your future buyers. Perhaps the most overlooked factor of all. Every one of the strongest performing projects sat beside dense clusters of HDB estates. This isn't a coincidence. Think about your future exit strategy. Who buys family-sized resale condominiums? Often, families upgrading from nearby HDB flats. These buyers already know the neighborhood. Their children attend local schools. Their routines are established. They don't want to relocate across Singapore. They simply want better facilities, greater privacy, private ownership, while keeping the same lifestyle. In other words, your future buyer may already be living just across the road. This creates a continuous pipeline of organic demand, and organic demand drives sustainable appreciation. The age sweet spot. Another consistent observation emerged. Most top-performing projects were under 10 years old. That isn't accidental. Buyers strongly prefer homes requiring minimal renovation. More importantly, younger leasehold properties experience very little lease decay. Financing remains straightforward. CPF usage remains flexible. Banks remain comfortable lending. Older developments may preserve wealth extremely well. But younger projects often generate stronger percentage appreciation because they appeal to the widest group of future buyers. The biggest lesson: many buyers spend enormous amounts of time chasing prestige. Prestigious schools, prestigious addresses, prestigious transport nodes, prestigious shopping districts. Yet the strongest long-term performers often share something much simpler. They make everyday life easier. That may not sound exciting, but markets reward practicality, not headlines.
Copy isn't about winning conversations. It's about winning mathematics. Imagine two properties. One impresses everyone during dinner conversations. The other quietly solves thousands of everyday inconveniences for ordinary families. Which one attracts more future buyers? History increasingly suggests the second. Because future resale demand comes from real families, not property influencers. Final thoughts. The Singapore property market has matured. Many obvious advantages are now fully priced into new developments. That means investors should ask different questions. Instead of asking, "Is this beside an MRT?" ask, "How much of that convenience have I already paid for?" Instead of asking, "Is there an elite school?" ask, "How many ordinary families will want to live here 10 years from now?" Property investing isn't about buying the most prestigious address. It's about buying the strongest future demand. Sometimes those opportunities aren't beside the most famous schools. Sometimes they aren't beside the MRT. Sometimes they're quietly sitting beside 3 ordinary schools, a neighborhood supermarket, a thriving HDB community, and hundreds of future upgraders who haven't entered the market yet. The best investments often look surprisingly ordinary until you examine the numbers. Your move. The biggest property opportunities rarely appear in newspaper headlines. They often hide behind data that most buyers never analyze. Before purchasing your next property, ask yourself, am I buying prestige or future demand? Have I paid today's premium for tomorrow's appreciation? Who will realistically buy this property from me in 10 years? Does this property create convenience that thousands of future families will value? Sometimes, a single shift in perspective can completely change your investment outcome. Your next step. If you're considering your next property purchase, upgrading from your HDB, or restructuring your investment portfolio, I'd be happy to help you evaluate the numbers objectively. WhatsApp me directly, +6581 810 258, or comment Condo below, and I'll share a simple framework to help you identify properties with the strongest future demand. The best property decisions aren't driven by emotion. They're driven by strategy, mathematics, and long-term planning. This is M, strategy over hype.